Good afternoon, Wahoo fans. I'm your host, Amaya Hawkins, and welcome to another edition of The Foresight presented by UVA Community Credit Union and powered by Keswi. And I cannot stress this enough. It's another Friday. We're here on The Foresight, so you know what that means. We need you to interact. We need you to get your thumbs active, get them in shape. Go to Virginia Cavaliers Facebook fan page or interact on this stream via Twitter on Periscope, and make sure you provide your questions, your feedback, anything you want to get out there. My producers do a great job of letting me know what you want me to answer, what you want me to discuss right here in the chat. So this is your chance to be interactive and be that foresight for the Virginia football team. And also, we got some big news. So last week we said we had some swag for you, right? We had folks go online, fill out their information, enter in the chance to get that free Nike swag. So not only will we announce who won the free Nike swag, they're here on the show. Oh, yeah, you will be a guest on the show. So later in the show, we'll have our first fourth side fanatic to join me, Amaya Hawkins, right here on the fourth side. So before we get into the special big-time guests, before we get into the Miami game, we got to reflect on the Wake Forest game. It was an outcome that we didn't want to see. We didn't do anything that Chris Canty, shout out to Chris Canty, that he alluded that we should do to win the game. We started off slow, but we battled back, and in the fourth quarter, the Demon Deacons pulled away. But within that game, we had a three-quarterback system. Yes, three, not two. Three quarterback package that came out, and some people call it the wild calf. I call it the Thorder cat. We're going to go with that, the Thorder cat, because we like Thorder backs, but it's a lot of them cats, so we call it the Thorder cat. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into a little bit of chalk talk, right, to see what Ira Armstead saw when he was asked to be that Thorder cat, and then we're going to see what Keaton Thompson saw when it came to him running the football. So we're going to get this video uploaded, y'all, and we're going to have a little film study right here on the fourth side. So right here you have Keaton showing his do-it-all ability. We saw him coming out of the SEC. This is what we were excited about. So, and then you see Ira Armstead coming off the side. Look at Tyler Popper with the block. High step, young man, high step. So let's go back. Oh, no, this is actually Ira on a quarterback draw. We saw Bryce Perkins run this a lot. They do a great job of selling it, getting the linebackers to change the eye level, and then he uses his speed, his elusiveness to get outside. A great game, and then you get out of bounds. Don't get hit. We need you to line up again. Then you have Keaton showing his elusiveness right here. Linemen doing what they can do, just trying to take the linemen where they want to go. Two-way go. He can spill to the left or to the right. He shows that vision. Show that icky shuffle on the speed ladder, and a nice block by Billy Kemp right there to spring him. That was a huge first down. That was a huge momentum for us right there. And then the touchdown by young Ira, the Kraken Armstead. You got Jana coming in with your classic crack. Then you have Tyler Popper, the Samoan slash, to leading somebody else to score a rushing touchdown. So again, you can see, look at that seal. I like that. Dr. Anai. Dr. Anai. I like that a lot. But this week, I don't need you to wait until the second series. Give me what I need quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, yeah, you heard here Amaya Hawkins. I like it, Dr. Now. A lot of folks say you got two quarterbacks, you don't got a quarterback. But what if you got three? You got plenty. Well, I just made that up. But with that being said, that was a little breakdown. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen going up into Miami. Brent Armstrong is eligible to come back. We don't know if he's going to play as a game-time decision. But with that being said, I know that the packages will still be involved. So we're going to take our first break, and then we're going to come back with our guests here on the fourth side.
You'll find we have a way about us. It comes from being unafraid of the hard things, never losing sight of the little things. And when all is said and done, coming together to enjoy the good days. Because every inch, every number, every call we earn. For the salt of the coast, for the stones of the capital, for the hug of Skyline Drive, for all Virginia.
Welcome back to the fourth side. I'm Amal Hawkins, your host, and every time I see that commercial, I want to run through a wall. It's iconic. So shout out to that episode. Get me in the mood, because speaking of getting in the mood, when you bring in a fanatic, you got to get hyped, right? This is our first time, so I got to introduce him, right? He was the calf man, like the actual calf man for football games. He was there when Chris Long, I think he choke slammed the quarter. Nah, I'm embellishing, but he got that iconic sack versus Maryland. And he's a fan of Petty Hawk, a guy that's banned from the Foresight. And you know where to go to listen to Petty Hawk, but he's not allowed on the premises right now, especially with the former calf man coming along, and that's Jeremy Rowe, our first Foresight fanatic. He got some Nike swag, and he got a guest spot on the show. So that means y'all better do what you got to do, because you can come up here and talk to me. You know, what's going on, Jeremy? How you doing, brother?
Yeah. What's going on, Ahmad? How are you doing?
I'm awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're on the show.
Thank you.
Being the actual calf man, what was that like? Did you prefer warm games or did you prefer cold games?
I tell you what, it was it's pretty incredible inside that suit. We had some of the games in early September that I'd almost lose 10 pounds in just water weight when it got hot in that suit. But even in November and late in the year, that suit, it keeps you nice and warm. So I preferred the colder games, because normally we were getting into the thick of the ACC schedule and getting to go up against some teams like Maryland and Virginia Tech, and being a part of those games was really cool. So I always liked it when the weather got cold, because that meant football season was in full swing. So, yeah.
And look, while I got you at fans, make sure you hit up the chat right now, because I know you got questions for a former captain. We all do. So you talked about Virginia Tech. So fans, hit the chat up now, because he's going to be here, and I'm going to throw your questions at him. Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Was there a rivalry between the two mascots? Like, was it some showdowns that we missed, like in the tunnel or anything?
There's kind of a rule with mascots that, we don't want to start a fight, because there's always got to be a winner and a loser. So you always tried to find, little ways and everything that you could get an edge over your opponent. Or, when I did the Virginia Tech game in 2008, he came over and he tried to kind of egg me on and get me going. And I had the big Virginia flag, so I started waving it around. And then as he was walking away, I draped it over top of him. Oh. And then, of course, laughed and, made a bit of a fool of him in front of all of his home fans there. So, we always try to do little things like that. But it was a neat experience also being outside of the suit, when we were getting ready for the games, because I got to talk to him and I got to meet some of the guys that were going through something that I was doing as well. And seeing that experience and kind of being, behind the scenes and getting ready for it, and, just talking and enjoying seeing different parts of the country and different schools and how they perform.
So we got a question from you. Dusty from Roanoke said, "Did you ever have to be Lil Who, the inflatable calf man?"
No, I didn't. I wasn't Lil Who. I did, and I was mentioning this to Ahmad earlier. One time, there was a temporary blue horse mascot that we had. And I put on that suit one time, but it was a short-lived. And for those of you that haven't seen that, go back and look it up. It looked like we called it Who the Magic Dragon, because it looked like a dragon more than it did a horse. But I didn't wear the Little Who. It was the Caveman suit. I did a couple other promotional things, for a few other mascots, but always liked Caveman. That was the one.
So we got another question for you. They said, Jeremy, what's it like watching Saber get ready to run out of the tunnel? Brandon Johnson asked you that.
It's pretty incredible. I mean, the whole experience running out of the tunnel and being part of that, the fanfare and, being on the field surrounded by fans cheering and being part of that experience, carrying the flag, it's very unique. And it's, the people that do Caveman, there's some extroverted personalities. You'd be surprised the number of introverts that are actually in the Caveman suit. But when you're doing it, you're not yourself. You're the mascot. You're Caveman for the university. So it doesn't matter when you're out there. You're there to be a part of the experience and really take it in. And seeing Saber run out was always thrilling. And there's nothing that gets your adrenaline pumped out more as a mod knows than running out of that tunnel and getting ready for a game.
Yeah, and I can agree with you. It's a different type of energy when you know he's coming out on the field and you know you're going to get that loud roar. And you got that big suit on and, you know, you talk about losing weight, want to stay hydrated. Share the folks that Maryland story you told me about before we went live.
Yeah, so the University of Maryland in 2007 is a game that most UVA fans remember pretty well. And different schools had different levels of hospitality. And at the University of Maryland, they gave us the alleyway beside the stadium to change and get ready. So that was the cheerleaders, the mascots, the dance team, and it was November. And so we got ready beside the stadium in the alleyway, and that was it. And so then we were out on the field, and about halfway through the second quarter, I think it was, I always drink water to stay hydrated, and I had to use the restroom. So I ended up at Bird Stadium. For those that know, they have a massive complex on the back side, and that's where their athletic facilities for the football team and operations are. And so I just walked over and just walked in the building and just to find facilities. And the guys that were behind the desk started laughing at me because they didn't expect to see Cabman. And there's two rules of being a mascot. You don't talk, and you never forget rule number one. So of all things, those rules trump anything else that you're going to do. So I indicated exactly what I needed, and they laughed and kind of pointed me around the corner. I started venturing around, and I still don't know to this day how it happened, but I ended up in the high dollar donor boxes in the facility. And I was walking past security guards and just waving, and they didn't stop me or anything. And eventually I found a restroom, and I walked in, and I'll never forget, a guy walked in, and he was wearing this green and yellow tweed suit. And he walked in, and his eyes got big, and I still had the head on. And I just kind of looked over the stall and waved at him. And he bolted out of there, and about 10 seconds later, a security guard came in, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I just kind of indicated exactly what I was doing. He said, "You're not supposed to be up here." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." and so he was trying not to laugh. And so he was like, "I need to get you back down on the field." And I held my hands up like, "Take me away." And he walked me back down. And the whole time he was trying not to laugh because I just kept being Cavman. Yeah. If I saw a fan, I was shaking hands and high-fiving, and I saw the Maryland, logo up on the wall. I took the cape and tried to wipe it off, and eventually I got back down on the field, and of course Chris Long had the sack safety in the end zone, and Michael Simpson ran all over Maryland that day. So it was a unique game, but Maryland won. The only other time I've been to Maryland was the 98-99 game. And that's when Billy McMullen had the touchdown catch in the back corner of the end zone to win that one.
This finger right here. Dislocated this pinky in that game.
He did, or
I did. I dislocated my pinky that game. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I was 2 for 2 going to the University of Maryland. So if we ever play them again, I'll have to make sure I make the trip.
Hey man, that's awesome. Now I bet you that guy somebody thought they was getting pumped because the mascot was up there with full-fledged costume, not talking, staying in character, and got up there with the big dollar people. I may need you to escort me in VIP sections or something because you was stealth. I don't know how you did it.
It was pretty funny.
And I know one thing I need you to do, though. I need you to stick. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it was always cool to see people's reactions from behind the head. It was neat.
Yeah, so with that being said, Jeremy, I'm going to get you to stick around with me, man, because I got some picks I have to make. And I always need somebody here with me to throw the picks back and forth. So we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, Jeremy's going to stay here, and we're going to pick some ACC games on the fourth side.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the Fourth Side. I'm your host, Amar Hawkins, joined here by the first Fourth Side fanatic with his Nike swag on the way. And nobody knew. Nobody knew that he'd be on the show. So I know the next time when we open up the next giveaway, y'all going to do what you got to do so you could be that who that's with me right here on the Fourth Side. So this segment, we got our ACC Pick'em. We're going to go through some games. I don't know if I haven't been perfect yet. There's some teams letting me down. But we'll try to be perfect this week. Jeremy, you think you could be perfect in your ACC Pick'em?
Yeah, I'm going to try. We're going to start, of course, hopefully with the UVA game and who my pick is for that, and I hope I'm right.
No, we end with that. That's the dessert. We end with
okay.
that. You know what I'm saying? So, also, for the fans that's tuning in, looks like we had some technical difficulties with Ant Harris, who was supposed to join us today, but he may not be able to link up. So, unfortunately, Ant Harris possibly won't be on the show today. Things change, but as of right now, he won't be on the show. But, he's trying. He's definitely trying, and he's a busy man. So, it is what it is. We're going to keep moving. We're going to adjust, and we're going to get to these ACC picks. Florida State, Louisville, trap game. Florida State, you weren't supposed to beat UNC, trap game. Louisville, you lost early, trap game. Who you got, Jeremy? It's a noon game in Louisville, Kentucky. It ain't the Yum Center, which our basketball team win at all the time. But who you got?
Man, this is a tough one. Both teams have showed some good spots and some bad ones, but it being a home game for Louisville, I'm going to have to go with them because both teams are too unpredictable.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I got to go with Louisville. The running back, last name is Hawkins. He's not my cousin, but I'm going to say he's my cousin. I like what they do offensively as far as being able to run the ball. Tutu Atwell's a dynamic receiver. And I don't trust Florida State right now, but that was a big win for them. So I have Louisville winning this game as well. Because you said Louisville too, right? Because they're at home.
I did, yeah, absolutely.
All right. We just want to make sure because somebody's like, wait a minute. He didn't say that. Next up, we got the battle of another Tobacco Road battle. So I believe NC State played Duke last week. Now they're playing their rival, UNC, noon on ESPN in Chapel Hill. NC State's number 23. UNC dropped to number 14. Who you got?
Even though NC State had a really good game against us, I think Carolina coming out of that Florida State loss and being back in it, they're going to rebound, and I think they're going to have everything clicking against NC State in the rivalry game.
I agree with you on that. NC State, if I believe their starting quarterback got injured with a broken leg, and I think UNC needed a wake-up call. They were sleepwalking. Florida State tried to give that game away on that valiant effort of coming back, but UNC just has too much firepower for NC State, in my opinion, and I feel like they could run away from this game after 3 quarters. They could put the nail in the coffin. So I got the Tar Heels. So we both had the Tar Heels beating the Wolfpack at noon on ESPN. And the third game, no. We're gonna start with that team. Virginia Tech travels to Wake Forest, 3:30 p.m. Virginia Tech's number 19. One of the best rushing attacks in the nation versus Wake Forest that wants to hit you with. We saw what they did versus us, so I ain't got to explain it. Who do you have, Jeremy?
Man, it's this one's a tougher one for me, but in good conscience, I can't pick Virginia Tech. I'm gonna hope that Wake's riding the momentum after the upsetting win against us, and even though there's not much home field advantage in 2020, I'm hoping them being at Wake Forest. And Virginia Tech normally drops a game like this. This might be the one that Tech loses and sends them spiraling a little bit.
Do all hosts that been on the show, do y'all conspire to always make me be the one that picks Virginia Tech? Because nobody's picking Virginia Tech with me. Nobody wants to be a true analyst and pick Tech like they should. We know Virginia Tech is going to beat Wake Forest. I know we wish that Wake Forest would win so we could tease them on Twitter. Virginia Tech in that running game and Hooker's back, and the only game they lost with Hooker in the regular season was to us. I just see Virginia Tech winning that game, in my opinion. But Petty Hawk wants them to lose. And next up, this pick is brought to you by Red Diamond Coffee and Tea. Yes, Red Diamond Coffee and Tea presents the Who's at number 11 Miami, prime time on ACC. Network. Shout out to my brother Tim Hasselback. I wonder if he's going to be in the booth. So, how do you have the who's winning? It's not who going to win. It's how do you have the who's winning?
Yeah, well, you brought me on because you wanted a fanatic, and so I'm going to be sticking to my guns here with UVA. One thing that Bronco has shown over the years, the past 4 years that he's been with the program, is building the resiliency in the team. That on top of the fact that Miami we always seem to be a trap game for Miami. The past couple years, last year we dropped it, but I think the team remembers that. But we always seem to be a stumbling block for them. So I think this week might be the week that we get everything clicking, that we kind of end this streak of the turnovers that we have. And our run defense is pretty sound, and keeping Derek King in the pocket, not letting him have the big plays on the ground, is going to be pretty crucial. So as the secondary gets better, I think having our front seven really maintain and keep him in control gives us the best opportunity to win. So I'm a fan. I'm picking the Who's in this one.
There we go. I like that. I love that analysis. To me, these two teams is usually a letdown game for the favorite. Like if the team that's coming in as the favorite, or if they're ranked, they usually drop the game. And we're going to break a trend because it's most likely that home team that wins, that elevates themselves, because usually, like, we were ranked going to them and they were ranked coming to us the year before, and we beat them. So I can see Miami kind of overlooking us, and we can finally click and show our true potential. The main thing is, like you said, keep King in the pocket and minimize the big gains from the two tight ends, because they're very dynamic. And offensively, just start fast and be very consistent throughout 4 quarters. And the Wahoos could definitely win this game. So, Jeremy, man, I definitely appreciate you not only being a part of the Fourth Side, being a former Cavs man, but now being an analyst on the Fourth Side. Anything you got to say before you get out of here?
No, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me on, and I'm very thankful for the 4 years I had at UVA and being able to represent the university's Cav man. And I hope that I had an impact on some of the young Wahoos that are out there. I enjoyed seeing Cav man, and hopefully someday they get to have the same kind of experience that I did. So go Hoos.
There you go, man. If you ever need to get into high places, tell Jeremy to put the Cavs suit on and walk in front of you, because you're good to go. So we're going to take our next break. But fans, make sure before we go on this break, make sure you continue to stay interactive. Make sure you continue to do what you have to do. Use the app that would allow you to enter in a drawing to get your Nike swag and to be a fanatic right here on the Fourth Side. And we'll be right back.
I do this for my goddaughter,
for my mother,
my family,
for my grandma,
Honey and Papa,
for my parents,
my grandma. She's never missed a home game.
My team,
the community,
Charlottesville.
I do this for the world.
I do this for UVA.
I do this for you.
Stop the spread.
Wear a mask.
Wahoo wah.
Welcome back to the Fourth Side. I'm your host, Amon Hawkins. I definitely appreciate you guys taking time out today to listen and enjoy the latest episode of the Fourth Side. Shout out to Jeremy for being our first fanatic that joined us on the show. And look, you never know, man. We asked you to be a part of those giveaways. We can't tell you all the goodies that come with it. We want you to participate, to interact. And I definitely love that you guys on the Virginia Cavaliers Facebook fan page, you guys are interacting. Right here on Twitter, you guys are interacting. And make sure you follow everything Virginia sports so you're always in tune of what's next. Speaking of what's next, we got to break down the Chevy keys to the game versus Miami, 305 down there. And you can't miss the opportunity to dethrone the king, which is their quarterback, Derek King. You got to keep him inside the pocket and show discipline, keep your pass rush lanes appropriately, and make sure your eyes are disciplined. And that leads me to number 2, show discipline. When we show discipline, we are a very high-level defensive football team, and we can be explosive on offense, but you have to be disciplined. No cheap penalties. Use that against the U, and make sure you finish drives. That means I do not want to see no bling-bling turnover chain. No. Don't want to see it. Don't want to do it. I don't want any jewelry showing. So we have to finish drives. 7-3. We got to finish drives. We got to start out fast. We got to win on all 3 phases of the game. And we definitely going to need the foresight via social media to cheer on the Wahoos so they could upset the Miami Hurricanes down there in the U. And we had a question for Mark. He said, does a 3 QB system affect Stone in 2-minute situations? Does it affect him and his consistency as a quarterback? That's a great question. And on the surface, you would think it will affect him. But I think Stone, since he's been a backup and their motto is to always stay ready so you won't have to get ready, I don't think it really disrupts his flow. I think he's a consummate professional. He's, well beyond his years as far as his maturity, and he understands what's being asked of him, and he plays within himself. But if this was just a natural starter that's all of a sudden getting pulled out the blue, I think it would affect them. Like somebody that's been starting like 6 or 7 games, and then you break up that monotony. I definitely would agree with you, Mark. But in this case, with him coming off the bench, I don't think it bothers him as much. And knowing Stone, man, the kid has his head on his shoulders, right? And he's like I said, he's a professional. So not really a professional. He's a college athlete, but you know what I'm saying. So do we have any more questions for the fans before we get out of here? Because if not, that's all we got for y'all today. Make sure you interact. Fill out the forms you need to fill out so you could be on the show like Jeremy was just on the show. It's just not about Nike swag. It's about coming on with Ahmad Hawkins. So with that being said, this has been a Foresight. Everybody, get your rest. Going to be a late one in Miami Gardens. So what Trey Garrett said, let's put some rust on that turnover chain. Hey, Trey, we're going to end with that. Put some rust on a turnover chain. That means it don't come out the case. Foresight, Ahmad Hawkins. We out of here.